Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to explore a really powerful concept called Mahima. It's an idea that can help us cut through all the illusions of life and find our true purpose. So let's dive right in. Let's just start with the biggest question of all, right? We spend our lives chasing so many things, careers, relationships, all kinds of experiences. But at the end of the day, what is the one thing that truly deeply matters? This quote from the Swaminarayan really cuts straight to the point, doesn't it? It's telling us that the ultimate goal is something called moksha, or spiritual liberation. Everything else, all the worldly successes we can possibly imagine, is secondary to that. So the real question becomes, how do we even get there? Well, to find the right path, first we've got to understand what's standing in our way. And that's this really powerful, really convincing illusion that the scriptures call Maya. So what is Maya, really? Think about it. It's that deep sense of I-ness we feel towards our bodies and minus towards everything connected to them, our relationships, our possessions, our pleasures. It's the core belief that these temporary things are somehow going to bring us permanent happiness. And because of this attachment, we end up chasing one fleeting pleasure after another. The scriptures have a perfect analogy for this. It's like being a thirsty person lost in a desert, running desperately towards a mirage that you're convinced is a real lake. Let me tell you a quick story that just nails this point. There's this Brahmin, right? He's walked for 20 miles, he's totally exhausted, and then he sees what he thinks is water. He's thrilled. But then a local cowherd comes along and breaks the news. Sorry, that's just a mirage. And in that single moment, all his plans, all his hope just collapses. That's exactly how Maya works. It builds up these false hopes that always lead to disappointment. Okay, so if our own senses and our attachments are constantly tricking us, how in the world are we supposed to see past the illusion? Well, the scriptures point to a very specific living guide. This guide is the Satpurush, a God-realized spiritual master. And according to scriptures like the Vachanamrit, the Satpurush isn't just a way to God and moksha, they are the only true pathway. Why? Because they are the living, accessible form of the divine here on earth, ready to guide us directly. I love this comparison because it makes things so clear. You could be a brilliant scholar who knows the scriptures inside and out, but without faith in that living guide, you're like a Kidro tree, barren, unproductive. Your company doesn't really bring peace. But then, you could have someone with genuine faith, even without all that book learning, and they're like a fruitful mango tree. Their presence brings peace and happiness. It shows that faith is the absolute game changer. And this brings us right to the heart of our topic today. How do we develop that kind of fruitful faith? The answer, the key, lies in a special kind of profound understanding called Mahima. Now, Mahima is way more than just respect or admiration. It's a deep, soul-level realization of the true spiritual greatness, the absolute glory and magnificence of both God and the God-realized Satpurush, who is God's presence right here with us. And true spiritual understanding, or upasana, actually has two parts. You have to realize the Mahima of God, Purna Purushats of Narayan, and you have to understand the equal Mahima of the Satpurush, Akshar Brahman. They're two halves of the same whole. Here's another brilliant analogy to help us get this. Imagine a pearl oyster in the ocean. It's surrounded by endless salty water, but it ignores all of it. It just waits and it only opens itself to accept very specific, pure raindrops. And those raindrops are what it transforms into priceless pearls. That's just a perfect picture of a spiritual seeker, isn't it? We're all surrounded by the salty water of worldly distractions. So we have to be selective, like the oyster. We have to faithfully open ourselves up to the wisdom of the Satpurush. And that faithful association, which is born from understanding their Mahima, is what transforms us into something truly precious. And this transformation isn't just a metaphor, it's very real. Understanding Mahima and associating with the Satpurush leads to a tangible change in your whole state of being. It's a process of becoming Brahmarup. To become Ramarup means to reach a divine, enlightened state where you're finally free from the grip of Maya. The benefit in our daily life is profound. It means finding a constant, internal contentment that isn't shaken by life's ups and downs. You're just no longer chasing mirages. So you can see the path laid out here. It's a clear sequence. You associate with the Satpurush. This allows you to truly develop Mahima. That deep understanding of greatness then gives you the strength to shed all those worldly attachments, to break free from Maya. And by doing that, you become Brahmarup. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita describes this state perfectly. It says that someone who becomes Brahmarup is always content, is free from cravings, and sees all beings with equality. It's only from this stable, peaceful, and elevated state that you can offer true devotion, or bhakti, to God. All right, let's bring this all together now. Let's connect this incredible transformation right back to that ultimate goal we started with. In that ultimate goal, remember, is moksha. It is the complete and final liberation from the cycle of birth and death. It's attaining eternal, unbroken happiness right in God's presence and in God's service. So, to sum up the entire journey, it all comes down to Mahima, understanding true greatness. This gives you the strength to overcome Maya. Overcoming Maya allows you to become Brahmarup, and that divine state, well, that's the gateway to finally attaining moksha. So, we'll leave you with this thought. The path from illusion to reality has been laid out. The question for all of us now is, what mirages are we still chasing?